Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. So, Colby, it's been a couple weeks after the Super Bowl, and we had talked about the Super Bowl in great detail about constructing teams from the bottom up, put a quarterback on top. But it seems like there is a lot of absurdity being spoken in the sports talk radio, and maybe some of the online platforms. We're going again the Cleveland Browns route about just obsessing over quarterbacks, throwing everything else out the door. So let's get this GM perspective again, and grounded and well grounded philosophy of football, and try to bring some sanity in a world of insanity when it comes to the Denver Broncos and how everything's going orbital. To me, what I'm starting to hear, it sounds like we're feeding the culture of the what I call Cleveland Brown culture of let's obsess on quarterbacks, throw everything else out, just quarterback, just like the Cleveland Browns did, like the old Oakland Raiders did under Al Davis, and so many other teams that stink. And I even hear, for instance, they had the two Village Idiots on Sports Talk Radio talking about the Indianapolis Colts, trying to. They're ready for somebody like the quarterback that they grabbed from Philly. They're ready for that because they were building. But then they're trying to say, but that's not what you do. That's not what you do. It's right in your face. You see it all the time. And all they want to do is obsess on quarterbacks. I'm going to also get into why DeShaun Watson is this is not a good team for him to go on. Oh, yeah. All right, matey, I see a quarterback. Ahoy. Exactly. Davy Jones. Yeah, Captain Bly.
Jack Sparrow.
Captain Sparrow.
Captain Hook.
Yeah, exactly. So, only thing I can see, I can't see anything else.
Yeah.
So, as a matter of fact, you sent me an article from Vikings country, and they were talking about Kirk Cousins again. And I thought the interesting thing about it is this is the thing. Everybody around the league, all the fans around the league, they look at the Broncos and the Bronco fan base exactly like the old Cleveland Browns. You'll never give a quarterback a chance. You'll just try to you'll try to make these splash moves everywhere that has got you in the place where you are because you don't want to build the team. That's not what you want to do. You think quarterbacks build teams. Well, if you happen to get a quarterback while you're building a team, that's all fine and dandy. But you got to have a team to surround a quarterback. And they were talking. The Vikings were saying that the Broncos just are not a team that can be patient, and they were even willing to take on Locke for Kirk Cousins. They were willing to do that, knowing that he's only 24 years old. And if we can take him out of a clown show, and build a team, and start building a team. The worst you could get is a bridge quarterback. The worst you could do is with Locke.
Absolutely.
And it's like in the draft, how many quarterbacks are going to be in the next draft and the next draft, and it just never ends. And they're always going to be the shit hot quarterback you got to have, right? So, I just wanted to get your take, catching back up after the Super Bowl on the clown show that continues around value. You were telling me that George Paton is an actual GM, and it's driving STR crazy because he's making stupid moves. He's making football moves. You want to talk about that?
So I'm going to talk about STR and the Bronco fan base real quick. This stuff isn't going to end until we get an owner in the Denver Broncos organization. I've been saying for the past 5-6 years that this is the Cleveland Browns town now, because you can have a list. It's in every football game that we play. It's just the roller coaster of quarterbacks that this organization has gone through since Pat Bowles left the building. It's crazy.
It's a quarterback. It's a serial killers. This organization right now is a quarterback serial killer.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think a perfect example of how you build teams is what the Colts just did. They're primed and ready. And I like what the Colts did. People will probably think I'm a Colts fan. I'm not. I just like the way they built their team. Same with the Bills and all that, etc. The Buccaneers too. But anyway, when it comes to George Paton,
no. Tom Brady came to Tampa Bay. All those players that are there weren't there. They were all garbage. He waved a magic wand.
yeah,
And made them all the players that they are. He waved a magic wand. They weren't good. He waved it.
He raised all ships. Those guys aren't all pro players, and they're just D+ players. They're just terrible players. A guy like Tristan Wirfs, who I wanted over Jerry Jeudy, but everybody thinks I'm crazy for saying that.
Until you see him in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you saw him in the Super Bowl containing Frank Clark and all these other guys on the pass rushing, but he's not. You were terrible.
Crazy. You were crazy. Jerry Jeudy. The king of drop. The
king of complaining.
Let's quickly put Jerry Jeudy in perspective. We know that somebody would have picked him up in the first round, but we were talking.
Absolutely.
But do you really think, on all honesty, that he's a first round player, a first rounder?
I think he is the end of a first round player. I would have took CD Lamb over Jerry Jeudy. I would have took Henry Ruggs over Jerry Jeudy. He's a great route runner. I'll be the first person to say it. I've watched the film. He's a really good route runner. But you guys are saying that he's the next Jerry Rice, and he's not.
Well, you gotta
please tell me, is his work ethic compatible to the likes of
Jerry Rice
or Rod Smith? These receivers that have in the past have busted their behind to get the Calvin Johnson, etc. I would never. Even CD Lamb. CD Lamb had issues this year, but he didn't go on Twitter and Facebook and all these other platforms and complain. There's a reason why Jerry Jeudy had all this flack coming out of college. There were questions about this guy, but you guys wanted him over Tristan Wirfs, a guy who was playing in the Super Bowl, who 2 weeks before was playing against the Saints against a guy named Cameron Jordan. He's like, that's one of the best right tackles, and he's a rookie. One of the best right tackles I've ever played against, and he contained Cameron Jordan. But we can't have that in Denver. We can't have that.
No. We don't want a good offensive line.
We can't. No. Remember, this is a good offensive line.
Yeah. We want to do this when we look at our own offensive line. This is what we do. Gotta close your eyes, and we want to talk quarterbacks up.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Don't build a Super Bowl contending offensive line. Whatever you do, pretend you have a top flight offensive line when you don't, and then as you get a guy out of college who never had injuries, and you turn him into an injury quarterback. But don't look at it as it's not the fault of your offense. No, don't do that. Don't do that. It's the quarterback, so it's nobody else's fault. Never had a problem with that going into this organization. The guy that he replaced, they got him killed. But don't look into that. No, don't. Let's just talk quarterbacks up.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line in the Super Bowl like your video a few weeks ago, the tale of two lines. It's all about the quarterback. But they lost the game.
Yeah.
They lost the game.
Well, they didn't just lose it. They got blown out.
Oh, they got absolutely destroyed. It's the tale of two lines, ladies and gentlemen. And this is segueing into George Paton real quick. This guy's making football moves, okay? He's not out there making the splash moves like you want him to. Okay, he's making football decisions. He cut A.J. Boye. Thank you. You were the first person to preach that.
I didn't want him.
But he's a good corner.
Who did both of us want instead of him? Who did we want?
Darby.
We wanted Darby, and how did Darby do where he landed in Washington? How did he do?
They were a playoff team.
They were a playoff
he was playing damn good this year.
And a great year.
Yeah.
Great year.
Yeah, he has the speed. He has the speed and the ability to keep up with a guy like Tyreek Hill.
Exactly.
That's the difference between Boye.
What did the Buccaneers do? They took away the first read of Mahomes. That was the point.
He looked terrible.
That was the point that I was trying to make by bringing in Darby. But nobody wants to listen. We want to talk about quarterbacks all the time. Okay?
Yeah,
Well, we don't want to talk about football.
We are the betting odds to get Deshaun Watson. We are the betting odds.
Well,
like, really?
I wonder why. Because Deshaun Watson, what is he going to do? He's going to come to Denver, and that gets him out of Houston. Okay, that's check one off his list. He puts in a couple years at Denver when the new ownership comes in. Do you think for 1 second that guy's not going to float out that he's available? That he's going to the market once the new owner. I don't care for shit what this guy's contract is. Because he can always say, look, I didn't sign up with this new owner. I'm putting feelers out there. Get me out of here. And now you've gotten rid of all these draft picks. Now, if what's his
3 first rounders?
Yeah. So if he does that, if he ends up leaving in 2 years, and you gave up all these draft picks, now Paxton Lynch, you thought that guy sent you behind. This guy's really going to set you behind.
Could you imagine?
We didn't see that coming. We didn't see that coming.
Can I just say this?
Yeah.
Can I just say, John McClain, I don't know if you know who this guy is. He's a Houston reporter. He goes on the STR and he says, Denver has absolutely no chance of landing Deshaun Watson. Oh, we don't. Oh my gosh, we can't land Deshaun Watson. It was absolutely, people were freaking out.
Good.
Because this guy actually knows that Denver is not a prime destination for anybody. I don't care who you are.
No, and I would say, I mean, and I'm sure Locke is like,
go
God,
to San Francisco.
I'm sure Locke is even like, God, if they can get me out of here and put me into Minnesota, I'll take that.
Lindsey's gone.
Oh, Philip Lindsey, yeah, he's not going to hang it. He did an interview and made that clear that I may be somewhere.
Yeah. When it comes to George Paton, I like what he's doing with this team. I like how he's taking an approach of looking over this whole roster and making smart decisions. AJ Boy is a guy, and another guy that's very under the radar is Isaiah Mack, defensive tackle from the Tennessee Titans. This guy is very young, 25 years old, and he could be a good rotational player. But a guy that I still want out there that I've been watching film on, Sheldon Rankins. It would make my day if they got him back, Sheldon Rankins. It would be absolutely great if they brought him in.
But he's not Deshaun Watson.
No, he's not. It just blows my mind.
You're talking football here, not Disney princesses.
No. We're Deshaun Watson. Oh my gosh, dude. I mean, I can write it's just like Josh Allen in the Buffalo Bills game. You can write a book on this. It's really terrible. We are the new Cleveland Browns. Well, you're such a hater. You're a hater. You're a Raider fan. No, I'm not a Raider fan. I just see bullshit when I see it. And I'm going to tell you guys up front that this team, there's a lot bigger issues than just the quarterback. And if Deshaun, you can explain on that. I'll let you do that.
Well, I was breaking down footage today of the Buffalo Bills during the Broncos, and in a way, it's a lot like the Super Bowl. Breakdowns all over the place by the Denver Broncos, a lopsided game, and the breakdowns are everywhere. Some of it is Drew Lock, but it isn't enough to say it's all the quarterback, and that's the biggest issue. It's the offensive coordinator, not when we're going to talk about this, Shermer. Shermer doesn't change up his strategy during the game. And not only that, he doesn't do it week by week by week. So I was just telling you that I was watching again blitzing DBs, corner blitz that we've seen over and over. And he doesn't tell his receivers, you cannot keep running down the field. That when you allow your cover guy to go tee off on the quarterback, you can only run 5 yards, turn around so the quarterback can get you the ball, and you've got all that wide open space. Because guess what? That's how you burn those corner blitzes. But Shermer never had taught his receivers to recognize, and they know they let the guy go. They've never taught his receivers, you can't just keep going downfield. You have to run a 5-yard route and get your quarterback a safety valve. It's
he
football.
did teach him one thing: go vertical. He did. They did teach him that. They taught the receivers that. Remember, that's what Cecil Lammey and all these guys were saying. Well, we're going to be a vertical passing offense. At least they taught him that. 3 wide receiver sets. What did I say in the Atlanta game? Yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what did I say in the Atlanta game? This guy cannot adjust week to week, and he can't adjust to his player strengths.
No.
You could go back and watch the Atlanta video. I said that, what was that, week 10 or week 8? What week it was. But I'm just saying, like, I've been saying it this whole year.
The whole year.
This guy is a terrible offensive coordinator.
Yeah, he is a horrible offensive coordinator. And the problem is Locke is a new guy in the league, and he's stuck in a situation with a bad offensive coordinator. You can't get rid of him because he needs some offensive line. You need some stability. But in my opinion, if you brought a DeShaun Watson in, let's just say you brought him in, you might as well get rid of Shermer at that point and bring somebody else.
Those two won't get along.
I mean, just that Shermer just isn't a good offensive coordinator. Whether they get along or not, I don't even care. Shermer's not even
exactly.
So if you bring in a quarterback, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep Shermer? Really?
Can I ask you something? When you were watching that film, did you see any creativity from Pat Shermer?
No. I mean, here's the thing that it's just you can't get creative with this. This team isn't good enough to be creative.
Well, like football one, creative, you know what I mean? Like getting like okay, so what I mean by that real quick is, okay, if you're struggling in that game, okay, wouldn't it befuddle you in your mind like, hey, okay, I need to try something else to help these players out? Did you see any of that? Like maybe doing like helping the receivers get open, doing simple routes or simple blocking techniques, or did you see any of that?
Well, in that game they were actually in it coming in from halftime.
But then it just went to crap.
Well, again, it's how do you prepare players?
Yeah.
Locke lost the football off of something that really wasn't his fault. Then they say, well, you tuck it. Well, I mean, he was just getting ready to run. Mm-hmm. What happened was Garrett Bowles absolutely lost the DB.
I'm so shocked.
Yeah. But here's the problem. Lindsey was the main culprit in this because remember when we broke down film from other games where they just took the block, they took the running backs completely out of the play into no man's land, and they weren't there to block, right? Shermer didn't go into the season thinking I got to protect this quarterback. So Lindsey is totally out of position. He interferes with Bowles, it wasn't Lindsey. I mean, Garrett Bowles lost the guy. He definitely lost it, but Lindsey made it worse.
This guy's a top 5 tackle. I thought this was
But Lindsey made it worse because he's out of position. But this goes into what we saw all season long about running backs being out of position. So that comes down to the coordinator. The coordinator he's not telling the receivers, if you let a corner blitz go, you can't keep running down the field. You tell your running backs, you've got to stay back there to block, and Locke isn't a veteran quarterback. I mean, if it's Brady, I don't even know if Shermer's even going to be around because he's going to
No, Brady was the quarterback. Even Peyton Manning, he wouldn't be there.
He wouldn't be there. Because the player personnel is like a bag of dice or something, and you throw them down, and if they go where they fall where they fall. Okay, there isn't the football 101 in player personnel, discipline, practice.
I'm so shocked.
So how can you possibly be creative when you can't even get fundamental football right? That's what I'm saying. That's what
I think we should. Yeah, exactly. I think we should expand on that point. Who was the person that brought in these players?
Oh, that would be John Elway, and the talent scouts.
No, it was George Paton, because everything is apparent. Yeah, exactly. It's if you're George Paton, man, how can I phrase this correctly? If you're George Paton and you're coming into a situation like this, why would you be making splash moves? You're not even a contender. You need to build this team from the ground up.
Yeah,
yes. And I'm going to ask you something. And that's what he's doing. He's not being headlining. He's not making these moves like Elway did, and we tell everybody what he would do. This guy is keeping it close to the vest, making football moves like A.J. Boye. I believe Casey's next. I really do believe Casey's next. I really do. From what I'm hearing, it's going to happen. Go ahead.
Well, let's talk about the scouting, and I want to talk about this idea about giving first-round draft choices up. I'm not a big draft guy because in the world I come from, if you're a top-notch organization, you can get a lot of your good players in the second, third, fourth, and fifth rounds. That's what you do when you're a really good organization. But the Broncos have a track record. They can't get good players, even really in the first round. I think Judy was a mistake at the first round. But let's say that's the best you can do. You could say Chubb and the rest of these, but let's say these first rounds are you can't go wrong with them. This organization can't get it right on the third, fourth, fifth round draft pick.
And maybe that's what George Paton was brought in to do.
I know. Yes.
I mean, this is what. Okay, so when you were watching the Bills tape, when you're talking about a bigger issue, dude, this issue has to come between the offense and defensive line, which I've been preaching for 5-6 years. That these two units are they're a bottom feeding unit. This offensive line is not a top 15 offensive line. I don't care what you say. And if you're and I've been hearing people speaking that out of their ass, and I'm sorry for my language, but wow.
Yeah.
You are speaking out of your ass if you think this offensive line is top 15. Lloyd Cushenberry? Like, you said it yourself a few weeks ago. This guy's giving up free runners up the middle.
Yeah.
Graham Glasgow can't stay healthy. I'm so shocked. He's another Ron Leary, which you were. Thank you again. Which you were the first person.
He's taking a big chunk out of the cat.
Nate Moody should be over him.
Reisner isn't really all that. Our
right tackle situation. You're going to trust Jawan James, and I want Rashawn Slater. But you're just a guy in the dark. You don't know anything about football. But yet we passed on Tristan Wirfs, and we passed on Quentin Nelson. Could you imagine if we had those two on this offensive line? At least it would be kind of respectable.
Well, they also
Ryan
passed
Kelly
on Conklin, too. They passed on Conklin as in the free agency. Yeah, we could have had a much better offensive line.
And defensive line.
Yeah. Jordan Phillip. Yeah, we really.
Sheldon Rankins is a Jordan Phillips, dude. I'm telling you right now, you want your next Jordan Phillips? That's Sheldon Rankins.
Yeah. Well, he's
just
not.
Just watch when he's playing. It's ridiculous. He's pushing guys back. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's not DeShaun Watson. that's how I can't see anything else.
And Justin Simmons. What did you see in that game from Justin Simmons? Can you please tell the viewers? Tell them what I've been seeing.
Okay, I haven't got to the defensive side of that. I'm doing offense right now. But what I've seen out of Justin Simmons is a guy continually out of angles. He's not also in the. If you would have saw the Super Bowl, these safeties are where they need to be. Each and every play, they're on top of where they need to be. It seems like Justin Simmons is out of place in any of his plays. He's hot 1 minute and he's cold. He's like hot one.
He's inconsistent.
Cold two.
He's inconsistent. He's not a top 5 safety. He's
Not
too
a top
inconsistent.
5. No.
He's too inconsistent to be a top 5 safety. Sorry.
It sounds, though, like the Broncos may not pay him top 5 money.
I wouldn't be shocked.
And I'm not big on Kareem Jackson, too, because Kareem Jackson's out of place. He's out of place a lot of times.
What did you see from the offensive line specifically in this Bills game? Because I know you haven't watched the defensive film, but what did you see from the offensive line?
Well, I would say that Cushenberry is definitely a undersized, in my opinion. The first half they were in this, so in the second half they got out of it, and that put them out of the running game. So if this offensive line is if the team is taken out of their running game, the offensive line is in extreme danger of breakdowns. It's just not. The offensive line wasn't so problematic with the Bills in the first, because the Bills had to account for a running game at that time. So it seems to me that they're okay until you get stunt blitzes, delayed blitzes. But to me, it goes two ways with the offensive line. They definitely don't have the player personnel to go far. They're not a go to the playoff deep offensive line. The other part is Shermer's scheming. Shermer's scheming also makes things difficult too, with free runners coming after the quarterback. So it's kind of a double whammy situation. And I'm going to show the footage, and I've been documenting it from this Bills game. But I think the Bills game is a great game to look at because it really encompasses a lot of what we saw all year. And now we know this was a Super Bowl contending team, a playoff Super Bowl contending team, because they were just one game away, for that year. So,
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
What I'm saying is, so I can see things both from the offensive and defensive sides. So the first thing I'll do is pump out another offense, and I will get and break down the defense. The defense in that game was just non-existent, and a lot of it we know the defensive line gave absolutely no pressure whatsoever, none, zero. There was none.
You clearly saw the difference between the Broncos offensive line and the Bills offensive line. That's basically my understanding from watching.
Yes, that's why I said it was like the Tampa Bay Kansas City game. It was very much like that. It was like a tale of two lines. Plus throwing Shermer's lack of scheming.
I mean, here's a guy. Yeah, exactly. I think this is what I saw all year, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. But if you knew how to scheme around this offense, and it wasn't hard, and you knew how to scheme around this offensive line, you had a 90% chance of winning this football game, because the defense most of the time did the best job they could, but this offensive line I think it's a bottom 5 unit in the National Football League. I think it's that bad.
It is that
blocking
bad.
101.
It is that bad because I don't think Reisner's as good as people want to. I don't know if you called it is he a sophomore? Was he a sophomore or?
Yeah, I would have to agree to disagree on that. I love Dalton Reisner. He played at Kansas State.
Well, I'm telling you what I'm seeing on film.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but
beat quite a bit.
Exactly, and I think that had a lot to do with helping Garrett Bowles out.
Yeah,
and like we have said in our past videos, you had to sacrifice the 4 other players on that unit and focus on one guy just to shove it down our throats and prove that he's a top 5 left tackle. Yet, what I'm hearing from you is he's blowing blocks like it's no tomorrow.
So
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, he did on that. He did on that. So you have Reisner, who's sunk. Cushenberry. Cushionberry's undersized in my opinion, and part of the problem in the running game I saw in the first half was Cushionberry getting pushed back. Because you'd have Bills defenders right up the middle, when they were even running the football.
So, and you've been saying this for weeks, haven't you? For like a month, right? A month and a half, 2 months?
Yes. The guy next to him, who I don't know,
Graham Glasgow.
Glasgow. Well, is it Glasgow or who is it? Because Glasgow's always injured. So that position is not stable. You have to see if Moby, right?
Netane
Moody. Moody, is he a good run blocker, pass blocker? He's
a damn good run blocker.
That's what I thought. I thought he's a good run blocker. You don't think he's as good of a pass blocker?
I think he is an okay pass blocker, but I think he can develop into a good pass blocker. I honestly, can I say something?
Okay.
I love Netane Moody coming in the draft. I love Netane Moody coming in through the draft. I was a big fan of Netane Moody. I think that his injuries definitely, got him into, what was it, the 5th or 6th round or something there. But Netane Moody coming out of college was a damn good player at Fresno State. I was high on Netane Moody.
Okay. So here we have a guy that, will he take over Glasgow's position?
I sure hope so.
Or are they going to keep Glasgow because they're paying him so much?
Leary.
Well, yes. Well, Glasgow's like Leary, but are they going to keep trying to make him work like Bowles?
I think what they're going to that dead cap is so bad that I don't see George Paton doing that with Juwan James or I could see him actually doing it with Juwan James, but we could get into that in a minute. But specifically with Graham Glasgow, I think that it's going to be one more year before you see something happen with that. I think that this year.
So that's what I'm saying. So for another year, we got instability there. We got a guy that's learning and a guy they probably
because you're handicapped. You're handicapped. You gave that guy a buttload of money. You can't just be like, oh, we're going to cut you, and your dead cap is like $30 million. That would take away a lot of your cap that you have this year.
Yes.
So you're handicapped in that position because who's that? John Elway.
Yeah. So that was a bad pickup all the way around. Then you got the right tackle position. Okay, that's a mess. Okay,
that's
so
been a mess for years.
You tell me, Reisner slumping, Cushionberry undersized, the Glasgow fiasco, and then the right tackle. You tell me, is this a kind of an offensive line that's going to take you somewhere? Let's just be honest. No. You got one guy, maybe in Bowles, that is serviceable. Well, just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, you don't want to lose him because you know that with the Broncos' track record, they'll get somebody even worse because that's what they do. So no, this offensive line is not stable. You're trying to groom, even if you brought in a DeShaun Watson. DeShaun Watson, look what he had a bad offensive line, is why I understand. So he was unable. He was unable to raise the ships because what was their record? Okay,
4-12.
It was 4-12. So obviously, he didn't raise the ship. Okay,
no,
at all. So and it's like Stafford. Stafford was surrounded by receivers. Stafford was surrounded by great receivers. What did that get them? Just because you have and again, Broncos in their mind think they have great receivers.
Oh, God.
Again, Fant, decent, and Hamler, decent. Judy is a question mark, in my opinion.
I just don't like him because of his attitude.
An attitude, well, it doesn't make it. His attitude makes no sense. You drop the ball all over the place, and yet you're going to go and yeah,
exactly. That's where I've been ever since he started driving. He blamed Drew Lock because he's throwing it too hard. Like, dude, stop complaining.
Just catch the ball. Yeah, I saw Lock in this game. This with the Bills game. He threw in three receivers. It was a tight window. triple coverage, and what does he do? He drops the ball.
Oh, I'm so shocked that he dropped the ball. Because he had drop issues in Alabama. Nobody talked about that, but I was the lone voice saying it, that he had drop issues at Alabama. Go watch the tape when he was in college with Tua. He will drop footballs. But no, you don't know anything about football. You are just a guy in the dark. You don't know anything. Okay. Yep, I don't know anything, but I said when he comes to the NFL, he's going to have the same issues, and he dropped 10 freaking balls in one game.
Yeah.
One!
Yeah.
That is unacceptable. That guy should have been benched. Tyree Cleveland should have been playing.
That's why he's not a first rounder.
And Tyree Cleveland drops one ball and he's benched?
Yeah. Tyree Cleveland sure made him look like an idiot.
Damn.
Yeah, it was, and you know that John Elway being embarrassed said you can't put Tyreek Hill. He's making him look bad.
Tyree Cleveland, yeah, exactly.
Or Tyree Cleveland, excuse me, Tyreek Hill. Tyree Cleveland.
God, could you imagine if we had Tyreek Hill? Whew, that'd be nice.
Well, he'd be up Judy's ass, I'm sure, saying what the.
Oh, absolutely. Same with Emmanuel Sanders.
I'm catching the ball, buddy, and you're telling me you can't. You know.
Yeah, exactly. I have a question for you. What did you see from? Well, let's go into Melvin Gordon because we were talking about this before he came on. I would love to hear what you had to say to the viewers. What you said about Melvin Gordon. I was saying that even before, but you go ahead. You have the platform. I'll let you talk about Melvin Gordon. This guy's a complete joke. They should cut his ass.
Well, this is the thing. It's a bigger problem than Melvin Gordon.
Well,
it's a bigger problem because why would you spend the money on him? When I'm watching in this game, he can't hit the hole right. He's not hitting the right hole. It took him 10 weeks just to be patient to let his block set up. And you're paying him the king's ransom. And here, again, we talk about these scouts. Who are you picking? You didn't want Philip Lindsay. We have to thank Philip Lindsay's mother for bringing him in. Philip Lindsay's mother, right? We got to thank her.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Absolutely. Nobody talks about that.
So, okay, maybe you needed to because Philip Lindsay was injured, okay? Maybe you needed to get somebody.
Go to Baltimore.
But what I'm trying to get at is why did you spend the money for Gordon if you want? And obviously, you didn't draft the other guy.
Freeman.
Royce, yeah, you didn't draft Royce Freeman correctly. So
third-round pick over Philip Lindsay, and you drafted Jamal Williams.
Well, you didn't even want Philip Lindsay. He had to walk on, so you don't get credit for that. Philip Lindsay's mother gets credit for that, but you don't.
Thank you.
Okay, so what Gordon tells you is not only can you not draft, bring in DeShaun Watson, give up all your draft picks because you can't draft anyway. Okay. But you couldn't go in free agency and get a guy that did everything that Gordon did for a lot less money.
A lot less.
And probably could block a lot better.
Oh, yeah. You could have got Mike Davis. By the way, a guy that I put out the free agent list. I know I didn't quarterback, but I looked at some running backs just in case they cut Gordon, which I hope is true, but they won't. You get Michael Davis. Dude, that guy's a lot cheaper than $9 million for Melvin Gordon. $9 million. You can accumulate that to the defensive line, linebackers, corners, offensive line, tight end. But no, we can't now. It's all about Melvin Gordon. I was the first person to say it that this guy is not as patient as Philip Lindsay is.
Yes.
This guy, when I'm watching Philip Lindsay in an NFL game, he sets up his blockers. Melvin Gordon just runs into his blockers.
He did that for 10 weeks. He did until he started, and somebody, I guess, listened to our podcast and said, hey, maybe you should.
Said something.
Yeah, set your blocking. So, the problem is I can't wait to get to the defensive, too, because, I mean, the defensive line is like, I know, corner, get a corner. You know, there's so much problems with the front seven. And what did we learn from the Super Bowl?
exactly. I'm going to tell you something, and this is going to really piss you off. From an online platform, I heard that in today's NFL, your corners set up that defense.
Okay, well, first of all,
exactly. Please explain this, please, because oh my God.
Well, I would say this. I would say you better go and put in the tape at Super Bowl 45. All right, 45, and yeah, which one was that one? 45. So put in 45, 40. Oh no, 50. 55, 57.
Yeah, 55.
55.
Yep.
55. Now, what's
55.
Watch Super Bowl 55. God damn. We were in Super Bowl 50, right?
Yeah, we were in Super Bowl 50.
Do not watch
Even
Super
that could be a
45.
great example.
I wonder who played the 45 Super Bowl. Anyway.
I don't know. I don't remember.
So don't watch the 45th Super Bowl. Watch the 55th Super Bowl.
Okay.
I'm getting chewed out because I was supposed to eat dinner, and it's
okay.
Right now.
Okay.
Yeah, the dinner was. I didn't realize it was going to be done as fast as it was.
Okay.
So watch Super Bowl 55 and look at the front seven. The front seven is dictating how the outcome of that game, really, for the Tampa Bay. Yeah.
Vita Vea.
Yeah, and it really sets up the secondary. What the linebacking is doing and what the front four are doing is setting up everything behind it for the DBs. The DBs aren't having to work so hard.
No, absolutely. And what about the linebacking too?
That's
wow. Yeah.
That's why I said the linebacking coverage is taking a lot of the first reads out of Mahomes.
Absolutely.
The Broncos have no linebacking core even in that same universe.
No, they do. They have Al Wilson. Alexander Johnson's Al Wilson.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So what you saw at Super Bowl 55 was the front seven making life a whole lot easier for the back half. I'm not saying that those DBs, that's not really their strength, was their DBs. It's that front seven. And that's what
same with the Broncos in 2015. Their front seven.
In Super Bowl 50.
Okay, yeah, they had help. Okay. The Denver Broncos had one hell of a cornerback room. I'm not going to take any way away from Aqib Talib, Chris Harris, and Bradley Roby, and all the other guys. But that front seven made it easier for those guys to take chances and get those pick sixes.
Well, but then that's what they said. They said that too. They brought that up. That Von Miller, the Malik Jackson, these guys made it so much easier, and the linebacking core made it so much easier for
Nathan and.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that's why we were the no-fly zone. They made it easier for us to make that. And, if you notice, as soon as that we got rid of Malik Jackson, that no-fly zone really took a hit.
Absolutely. You saw it. Absolutely.
So that's what I would say to address that we've already seen it. We've already seen that. All they're trying to do is lobby for a corner. And I'm not, I mean, if you got Deion Sanders sitting there, yeah, you go get him. That's fine. Champ Bailey, yeah, but do you have that in this year's draft?
No,
I don't know.
No, you don't.
But if you can get a pass rusher, a guy that can go up the middle, if you can get a big time linebacker, and there are out there.
Micah Parsons, please.
Yeah, Parsons. He'll probably be gone by the 9th. He'll probably be gone by the 9th. But if he's there, you get him before you get one of these cornerbacks in this draft.
And I would also bring it. You go get a right tackle. If you're not satisfied with Juwan James, okay, well, whatever. If he wants to sit out, go get Rashawn Slater. He'll be there at 9. Okay, it might not be the sexiest move, but this guy can play right tackle in this league. You guys said there is nobody out there that I heard that said we got to get Tristan Wirfs. I was the one person said that guy will be there at 15. Okay, you might have to move up one spot to get him. But this guy can change that right side of the offensive line, which, by the way, hasn't been good since Orlando Franklin. And that guy. But anyway, I'm just saying, you passed up Tristan Wirfs or Jerry Jeudy. What? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, if we got to learn how to put an organization back together. You can't just
Thank you.
be grabbing people off the street and hope that, like shit on the wall, just hope it sticks. You got to start becoming a franchise again.
And
that,
I'll ask you this: what do you think, George? What have you thought about George Paton so far? He's made a few moves, not a lot, but what have you thought about George Paton? I think he's a lot like us.
Well, yeah, so far like us, but we got to see this thing out.
Yes.
You remember Al Davis, Elway is still back there, Looking at
DeShaun Watson.
I got a quarterback in my view.
DeShaun Watson.
So what about the stupidity of the Philadelphia quarterback coming to the Denver Broncos, a team that has a offensive line issues, bringing in a quarterback that has injury issues?
Carson Wentz?
That would be Carson Wentz.
And he went to the Colts, and I guarantee you he'll succeed there. I guarantee you that. I will bet money on that.
And you think if he doesn't get injured, would you say that his superior offensive line may have a little bit to do with that?
Oh yeah, that's exactly why I know he's going to have so much success there. I said this a very long time ago. I was talking to a lot of my friends because some of them are Philadelphia Eagle fans, and I said, the biggest loss that you guys could have sustained was Frank Wright, because Frank Wright during that Super Bowl was the quarterback coach and the offensive coordinator. It wasn't Doug Peterson. And I said, your offensive line is deteriorating. They're getting old. You guys need to start getting better offensive line players. And look what happened to Carson Wentz. Yep.
Did they play?
I said, look what happened to Carson Wentz. Absolutely.
Nothing wrong with the line. Nothing wrong with the line.
Absolutely. And I was a big fan. I was a big fan of Carson Wentz. I watched him at North Dakota State. I was a big fan of Carson Wentz. I'm still a big Carson Wentz fan. But I think he will have a lot of success in Indy because of that offensive line and because of Frank Wright, and they know how to build a proper NFL team.
Well, you know what happens if Carson Wentz becomes successful there? You know what'll happen, right? They'll blame George Paton. It was George Paton's fault. He's so good. As if they'd expect that would happen here.
That's we're the Browns. That's now that you're saying. Well, I've been saying this for 5 years. That this team, okay, you have what's his face? Dak Prescott. He gets drafted by the Cowgirls, and he's having success there because of that offensive line. Look what happened when that offensive line is deteriorated. I mean, come on, this isn't rocket science. Jeez, it's ridiculous.
No.
Oh my. Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson.
Did you hear? Deshaun Watson. It's God. God 2.0.
If this Super Bowl doesn't change your mind about how the Buccaneers offense and defensive line just dominated that whole game,
They don't or any of that. It's all Deshaun Watson.
It's all Tom Brady.
All the time. No, it's Deshaun. It's not even Deshaun Watson, I think, won that Super Bowl. If I'm listening to Sports Talk Radio, right? Deshaun Watson.
Are we the betting odds? Wait, are we the betting odds to get him? Wait. Did you hear? We're the betting odds.
That's going to make such a difference. It's going to make such a difference. And then he leaves in 2 years, and it's like, then
we have no draft. We have no draft capital.
Now wait, I got this whole thing planned out. So we get Deshaun Watson. Here's how it goes. Deshaun Watson leaves in 2 years because he's not going to. I'm not dealing with the new owner. He goes where you really wanted to go. Yeah. Now STR hates the new owner. It's all the new owners. It's now a hatred
happening.
Yeah.
All the feel-good fans. Oh, this owner is terrible. He's a Dan Snyder.
Even though we predicted this before there even was a new owner.
Exactly. And weren't you the first person on record saying that there's a possibility that we could go get Kirk Cousins, and I sent you the link?
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. There are links out there saying that Kirk Cousins in Denver could be a possibility. Oh.
Well, I mean, I thought that was the whole reason. I know how Elway's brain works. You got to go behind the scenes. We got to get, because remember, he was a big Kirk Cousins fan. He wanted Kirk
They
Cousins.
wanted him,
Big
but they
time.
didn't
He
have the
wanted him
money.
big time, but he couldn't get him.
Because
So-
he didn't have the money.
Like the Simpsons, that rich guy behind the scenes.
I just really hope that George Paton just shuts Elway out and doesn't just let him his last year just stay up there. Let me do my job, please. I just want George Paton to just do what he's doing right now is good. I like what he's doing. He's not making noise. He's making smart moves. Please, George Paton, if you watch this, and I know you probably, but I'm just saying, don't listen to Elway because he's going to lead you down a path of mediocrity and
Well,
shit.
yeah. The problem is I think sports talk radio is a direct. What did you got, Mr. Elway? Okay, we'll say that. This. Okay, well,
That's why they're attacking Peyton right now.
Well,
they're
of course.
attacking Peyton.
Well, yeah, because and John always just sits back, works so well because now I'm not the guy that they're attacking. So yeah, I mean you could kind of see this coming too.
And just to say this too, I'm listening to Village Idiot DMAC the other day, and he said that we need to draft Mac Wilson at 9, we need to keep Drew Lock, and we need to go after a veteran quarterback. What?
Yeah, it's all about the quarterback's going to wave magic wands and
Mac Wilson at 9. Okay, that guy's a definition of a pocket. He's your Joe Flacco.
Well,
you draft him?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not just the Village. There's 2 Village Idiots. The other one is Oakley Dokley Stokely. He's saying the same thing. Well, if you don't get DeShaun Watson, you got to go quarterback. I'm just going to say Elway, Mr. Elway, do not listen to those idiots. Build your team.
Peyton.
Listen to Mark Schlereth. And look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs. Look at the Indianapolis Colts. The
Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills. Take a look
Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, they have quarterbacks now. Yes, because of Wentz. Yes, they have quarterbacks. But they built those teams before they put the quarterback on top. They concentrate.
People don't like to bring that up.
Oh, yeah. No, we're going to shove it in your face because guess what? You can see it every
We got a quarterback.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, eventually they did. And the quarterbacks will always be out there. You got to have a team to put a quarterback on.
Okay, wasn't there an instance like this when Tim Tebow was the quarterback in Denver and we were building this team through the offense and defensive line before Peyton? That's why Peyton chose this, because of Pat Bowlen in this team. It's the reason why Peyton Manning came to Denver. He saw the talent on the roster like Tom Brady did with the Buccaneers. It's like, hey, you put me on top.
Well, he also knew the talent that was going to come in too.
That too. But I'm just saying, even before Payne was good, this team was primed and ready. Their window was open because they built this team correctly. You add just a few more pieces here, there, and there. You bring in Peyton Manning. There you go. Same with Tom Brady. Look, okay, they had Jameis Winston the year before, went in 8-8. Same with the Broncos. They went 8-8 with Tim Tebow. Guess what happened when they got Peyton Manning? When they had their team, 13-3 or 12-4 that year. I thought that was the best team that Peyton Manning was on when he was in Denver. Was his first year in Denver. I thought that was the best team. They lost to the Ravens, but I'm just saying it's going to work out or it's not going to work out. But at least you did it right. Not kid yourself saying that, we need to go to give up 8, sell the farm and sell the franchise to DeShaun Watson, who went 4-12. And you guys are saying that he will raise all ships, yet he went 4-12 in Houston. Please.
Well, and it's not about winning a few more games either. It's really about building an organization. And I just don't trust that Deshaun Watson's going to be around come the ownership switchover. I don't care what his contract is. Obviously, he can get out of a contract if he goes to Denver. It's obvious. You can get out of the contract.
Yeah, and if that happens, we have this on record.
Yeah.
This guy right here said it first.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. If I was Deshaun Watson, Denver looks attractive because it's a place card holder for me. If things work out, great. They work out, I can stay. That's great. But I'm not obligated to stay once this ownership. He knows. His agent knows the ownership situation here. Absolutely
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows. So he can look at it as I'm out of the Texans thing. I can say we'll just work on getting out of my contract for another couple of years and whittle that down. Now I'm not obligated. New ownership comes in, I can just take off and go wherever I want to go. So that's why the Broncos would look attractive to him.
I don't think he'll come to Denver. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think there's any realistic possibility. I don't see George Paton. If I know him right and the research I've done, I don't think he'll pull the trigger on that because he is a draft and develop.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But I'm just saying he is a player personnel guy, and I know it doesn't matter. But damn it, you guys, you have a GM right now that is doing an okay job right now. But I'm just saying, damn it, you have a guy that busts his ass watching film, trying to get better player personnel in here. He's a player personnel guy. And you're going to ruin this guy if you continue down this bullshit thing with the
Cleveland Brown Road. But
yeah.
It doesn't matter because John Elway is there. And if he wants to get all Al Davis on us,
DeShaun Watson has the power.
Yeah, DeShaun Watson will be he'll override. And
so if they trade for DeShaun Watson, we all know who was the drum beater in that. It's John Elway. That would not be a George Paton move.
Now, I understand that's just the nature of the sports talk radio. Because our videos, what are our most watched videos when it has to do with some quarterback thing? I told you, I said, watch, we're going to talk about football 101 with the Super Bowl, and the viewership's going to go down.
Exactly.
Because so much you can learn from that Super Bowl. I just want to. It's quarterbacks are sexy, right?
Yeah, and they were called it. Well, I'm called an idiot on the comment section, but I don't really care.
Well, they're the Disney princesses. We don't care about
which one.
Well, you don't care about the Seven Dwarfs. I don't want to talk about the Seven Dwarfs. I want to talk about Snow White.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what
Star
it is.
Wars reference. It's ridiculous. Don't talk about Anakin Skywalker. We'll just talk about Darth Vader. We don't even know who he was before Darth Vader.
No.
Yeah, just forget him. Just forget those. Yeah, exactly. You have a George Paton. I like what he's doing, but damn it, I know John Elway. I just have to come to realization. I know John Elway's going to screw it up. He's just going to screw it up.
Yeah, well, he can't help himself. I will say, I'm going to end with this. I will say this for Al Davis, John Elway, Snyder, Jerry Jones. I'll say this about these guys: as much as they're kryptonite to their teams, they actually do. They actually do care. They really do honestly care. You got to give that. They actually care. Now, I just want to talk about the new owner. They're floating out that the Amazon, the former, the former owner of the Amazon, or I'm sure he still owns some of it.
Jeff Bezos. Oh my God.
Now, do you really think that guy is going to have the heart and soul into his team, or is that just going to be another notch in a portfolio?
Do I have to talk about this, Jeff Bezos? He will not be the next owner for the Denver Broncos. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to put that little needle in the bubble, but it's not going to happen.
Now, let me ask you this. Are there idiots out there that it's like,
yes.
This is what I like to say. In case of stupid, break glass, right? Are there people stupid enough to want him as an owner?
No, there's people that want him as I'll name them if you want me to, but I'll just say this. STR and the Feel Good fans, and I know a few of them that want Jeff Bezos as the next owner for the Denver Broncos.
Okay. Do you honestly ask yourself this question? Do you honestly think this guy's heart and soul is going to be with the franchise?
No, it's going to be about merchandise sale. It's going to be like the Rockies.
It's going to be like the Rockies.
They just traded Nolan Arenado, and they're a dumpster fire because all they care about is the party deck at Coors Field and nothing else.
No, just keep bringing in the
revenue. Keep bringing in the revenue.
the Denver's turned into a transient town. So if this was
they're a hockey town now.
yes, well, I mean, it's a transient town that when it comes to baseball, it doesn't matter who's playing. You're going to get fans coming to watch, the games. So they don't care whether they're at the Rockies, if they win, lose, whatever. You're right. That's exactly what you're going to get with the Broncos.
Exactly.
You're not going to
You're
get
going to be the next Rockies.
You are not going to get Pat Bowlen with Bezos.
No.
You're going to get the anti-Pat Bowlen with Bezos.
Yes.
You can't.
And there's actually people believing that he's going to be a Pat Bowlen guy.
And if anything, it's like saying that a hole in the ground is the sky. A hole in the ground is the sky.
That's like saying the Earth is flat.
Well, at least it's the Earth. But I'm saying it's so far out. It's like compare Bowlen and Bezos is like saying a hole in the ground to the sky. Yeah.
Oh God.
Comparing
Jeff
to lumber,
Bezos, dude. I don't want that creepy guy as my owner. I don't want Jeff Bezos as I don't want him as he is not an owner guy. He's not owner material.
No.
He'll just turn this team to the next Rockies. He will trade all of his good players. This team wouldn't even be able to get good players.
No, what he'll do is he'll hire a bunch of independent contractors that don't have no heart, no soul. And it'll just be a crap team, and it's
going to be crap. It's going to be the Rockies.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Rockies 2.0.
If even that.
Oh, it could possibly be worse.
Yeah.
It could be the Detroit Lions, but worse.
Yes.
You think that Martha Ford? I could get into that situation.
You do not want that guy as an owner.
Oh, no. I don't want him as an owner. I want a guy that that wants to build an organization, football. I don't want a guy that comes in that has, bring in a new party deck to them. What is it now? A power field at Mile High.
Well,
bring in the new revenue.
I'll dare and say that I would take Brittany Bowlen over Bezos.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Oh. That's a tough
it wouldn't
call.
Be. Well, it wouldn't be Bezos. I would think
if Brittany Bowlen is a placeholder for the because I have to do it. If Brittany Bowlen is a placeholder like you're saying with DeShaun Watson, then okay, I guess I'll go there. I guess I'll back off and be like, all right, Brittany, you're a placeholder for now.
Well, yeah, if you could keep Bezos out of the picture.
Yeah, keep him wherever he's at.
Yeah, I don't want nothing to do with that. Well, with that, I better let you go. I'm already in trouble with the wife because I ill-timed this.
I get it. I know how you feel.
Yeah.
All right. Take care.
Yeah, I'll post some film here on this offense, and then I'll get to the defense.
Later this week, I'm watching film right now. Later this week, I'm going to send you film on that Sheldon Rankins guy because I know how eager people want to see how good he is, and I think you'll like him.
Okay, and I'll post it if you can send it to me.
Will do.
And I'll put in the commentary then. Okay?
Cool. Will do.
All right.
All right. Later.
All right, bye.
Yeah, bye.